Have you always wanted to play Discipline Priest, but you find it a little bit too hard and complicated? Well, I might have the solution for you, because with the single button assistant and the build that I have made, it actually is quite easy, and you will be surprised how much healing you will be doing. But let me take you for a spin for that one. In this video here, I'm going to show you the stats that you should be using with the spec, the talents, the rotation, and also just like a quick gameplay session of like a boss fight, just so you can actually see how it looks like. But let's get to it. So when it comes to stats, first of all, I would say always go for the highest eye level / upgrade level. You know, when you look at an item, you can see here, for example, in this case, it says upgrade level myth. Whenever you have an item, always take the item that is the highest upgrade level. So if you go into a dungeon or raid and you get an item that has a higher upgrade level than what you have, always take it, because it's going to give you so much more intellect that it's going to be worth it. So if you get an item that has the same upgrade level as the one you already have, that's when we're going to be looking at the secondary stats. First of all, we have haste. Haste is increasing your attack, your casting speed, which is basically just helping the overall flow, because the more damage you do, the more healing you will be doing. So having both your damage over time, Shadow Word Pain ticking even more because of more haste, all your spells will be cast faster. Also, it reduces the global cooldown between your spells, which is we're getting punished for using single button assistant. You know, it just has so many like great things. Like haste is just going to make your entire rotation feel more smooth. It also reduces the cooldown on spells like Mind Blast and so on, but still, like, haste is just like omega. Then secondly, we have critical strike. You might be thinking, why? Because when you do damage, you are healing from that damage. When you're actually then critting, like your spells, the damage spells are critical striking, you also heal that amount. Like, you know, when you damage crit and damage more, it will also heal more. It's kind of nice. So when you actually do the double damage from crit, it also heals double more. So, which is super fine. Like, it's really, really good. Then we have versatility. Versatility just increases your damage flat out, but it also increases your healing. But no, we are not double dipping. It's not going to also increase your damage and healing at the same time, because, you know, we are healing from damage. So of course that damage you deal is going to be increased, and then of course that the healing is automatically also increased from that damage increase. But yeah, versatility is great because it increases the damage we do, the healing we do, and it also reduces the damage we take ourselves. So, you know, great stat. But still, after haste and crit, because, you know, it's still, yeah. Then we have mastery. Mastery is fine if you play like normal, I guess more like a normal discipline priest and raids and so on. But with the build we are playing, we're using the single button, we're using a lot of damage spells, so it doesn't make sense, because your healing and absorption is increased by 27% on targets with Atonement. And we're not really casting absorption spells, we're not really casting direct healing spells, if you know what I mean. So yeah, we don't think too much about mastery. But yeah, that would be the stats and eye level that I would be recommending when you actually play Discipline Priest. When it comes to talents, I have made this build here. It's very inspired by a meta build, but at the same time I have like changed all things around, because the meta, for example, is not using encroaching shadows and revel in darkness. They don't really use searing light as well. So I have just changed the build into something that I feel like was the best for single button and dealing the most damage and most healing. So first of all, we are using Oracle. Many people would say, why are you using Oracle? Well, so the reason why I would say that I'm using Oracle is very popular. But at the same time, Oracle is helping us with one important thing. It increases the duration of Atonement by 4 seconds. This build here and how we play it is basically you use Holy Power Word Radiance one time, and then you will have Atonement on everyone for like 14-15 seconds, and you will be spamming your single button rotation, and you're gonna go use again Power Word Radiance out of 15 seconds, and you're gonna keep like doing that. Because of this one here, it actually allows us to have 100% uptime with Atonement from just using Power Word Radiance, which is freaking great. So it's great. We of course also have penance that gains an additional charge, and I mean penance is nice. Penance is nice because it increases it deals damage and healing at the same time, and we have a few other talents which does a lot of things with penance, like this one here down here. Your penance balls hit the enemy, dealing 20% of its damage over 8 seconds. So basically it adds a damage over time ability, which also heals through atonements. Just if you don't know, if you're like new to Discipline Priest, we have this one up here called Atonement. Powered Shield, Flash Shield, Plea, Powered Radiance now gives Atonement for 15 seconds. Your spell damage heals all target affected by Atonement for 35% of the damage done. Healing is reduced when healing more than 5 targets. So basically, whenever we use any of these spells, in this case here, we're going to be using Powered Radiance, which is like AoE healing everyone. Then it's going to apply Atonement to all in your party, like all 5 in your party, which is great. And then every time you do damage, 35% of that damage is now healing everyone, which is crazy. That's how Discipline Priestess work. What I have done then is we have we have Powered Radiance here. Now it has an additional charge, and also reduce the cast of Powered Radiance and cause it to apply Atonement for additional 10 seconds. Powered Radiance actually only applies an Atonement for 70% of its normal duration, so it's not like if you actually cast a Powered Shield on yourself, it would be like 18 seconds, but when you actually cast Powered Radiance, instead of 18 seconds, it's like 15 seconds, so yeah. Beside of that, we have also taken Shadow Wave Pain spreads to 2 nearby enemies when you cast Penance. So basically when you cast Penance on a target that already has Shadow Wave Pain, it's automatically spreading. I kind of like that because now we are spreading automatically Shadow Wave Pains around. The same here, now it spreads to 1 more and Shadow Wave Pain deals more damage. Great, all great. We also have Ultimate Penitence, which is like an insane strong cooldown. Has a very long cooldown, but basically you deal a lot of damage, it heals a lot. It's one of those buttons you press when things are really going rough. We also have Atonement, reduced damage taken by 2%, so now everyone who has Atonement on is basically just taking less damage, which is great. Another one is Evangelism. Immediately, like right now, instantly cast Powered Radiance at your target for 100% effectiveness and cause your next 2 cast of Powered Radiance to be instant cast. This is great because it kind of like gives you like an additionally Powered Radiance in case you are in a situation where you don't have enough cooldowns like to use a Powered Radiance to keep up Atonement. Then you have Evangelism. And basically also now it makes your next 2 Powered Radiance instant cast, which is, great. And at the same time, we have Mindbender here. When you actually use Evangelism, it actually also summons a Mindbender, which gives you mana, but all the damage the Mindbender is doing is also healing, which is great. Super great. So yeah, I kind of like that. So, you can see here we have like the AoE healing here to apply Atonement. We have this to spread out all our damage over time abilities. We have this to like basically help with our rotation. And then we have all this funny stuff down in the right corner here. The damage of Smite and Penance is increased by 15, and Penance increases or decreases your target movement speed by 50%. But also this one here where now Penance actually deals damage over time. It actually leaves a debuff, which means even more damage over time, like healing over time from Atonement, which is great. Also, we're using Shadow Wave Death, so whenever you attack a target which is below 20% health, the single button assistant is automatically going to use Shadow Wave Death. And what happens now when Shadow Wave Death is going to be used? Well, it's actually going to summon a Shadow Fiend all the time, which is insane. So you're all like, whenever like you're fighting mobs and they get below 20%, you're gonna keep summoning Shadow Fiends, which is of course damaging, but at the same time, whenever they damage, they also heal, which is great. And then we have this one here. So whenever we cast Penance, Mind Blast, Shadow Wave Death, it causes the Shadow Fiend to also teleport behind the target and deal a lot of damage, which of course also going to be healing, which is crazy. And we also have this one here. Shadow Wave Death deals the damage 2 additional times at 15% effectiveness. So when you actually use Shadow Wave Death, it's going to like deal extra damage. But this one here, I love this one here. Mind Blast and Shadow Wave Death consumes 2 seconds of Shadow Wave Pain, dealing damage equal to 300% of that amount consumed. So just additional damage again. So basically with this build here, you just have tons of damage coming out all the time, and you don't have to think about it because the single button system, as you can see here, is automatically using all the abilities that you need to use. So you don't have to think about Mind Blast, Penance, Shadow Wave Death, Shadow Wave Pain, or Smite. It will automatically be used in the rotation. So I think like it's a great build. At the same time, at the left side here, we just have a lot of crowd control, survivability stuff like Desperate Prayer, more healing. We also really increase, like we're really upgrading Fade, so both Fade has less cooldown, it removes all snare effects, and also reduces all damage taken by 10. So Fade is a great spell, like only 20-second cooldown. At the same time, we of course take the Shadow Word Death. We also get some Leech, because then every time you do damage, you're also going to heal yourself. We are also taking... we just had like one additional talent points that I didn't really know where to put, so we're just taking Dominate Mind, which is great, because when you are in a dungeon or raid, you can basically enslave, like you can capture whatever you call it, like a mob, as long as it is not a demonic mechanical undead. Then you can basically have them following you for 30 seconds and deal damage with you, which is great. So I really enjoy that. But it can really like increase your damage, you know, basically having like a pet running around with you all the time that deals more damage. You just have to remember every 30 seconds you need to cast this spell on them again. So it can also be good and bad. We also have Power Infusion, which of course gives 20% haste. And then we have this one here, so when you cast it on someone, you also get that 20% haste yourself. And as you know, with this spec here, we love haste. But I mean, overall from that, that's pretty much it. This one here is maybe also worth mentioning. When your healing spells and smite have an 8% chance to make your next flash heal instant and cost 50% less. So you will also have a lot of like instant flash heals that you can be using in case you want. We also have this new Apex talents down here called Master of Darkness. This one here is a little bit interesting. Penance has a high chance to upgrade your powered shield, becoming into Void Shield. Shield free allies for 15 seconds, absorbing up to 33 damage. So basically, whenever you spam Penance with your single button assistant, sometimes your shield down here is going to turn purple. And just use it then. Whenever that happens, just use it, because now it's going to shield yourself, and also I think like it's going to like shield you plus 2 allies. Like it's 3 allies in total, which is great, because all the people who get shielded now will also get Atonement on them, which of course is great. But it's also going to absorb a lot. Also, shadow damage and Atonement healing is increased by 6%, which is great, and Void Shield reflect 25% of the damage taken, causing Atonement healing, which is also great. So just like more healing to our Atonement. So yeah, whenever you see the shield, but yeah. But again, this build, I think it's great. It's fun. You can do it. You can use it in dungeons like normal, heroic, mythic 0. I think you can even like. I think honestly, if you play it well, you should be able to also use this for keys. Like honestly, it's a great build. But yeah, let me kind of show you in action how this works. All right. So when it comes to rotation, it's quite simple. You have a spell called Powered Radiance. Before you go into combat, or basically when combat starts, I would recommend using that spell, like this, Powered Radiance. It's going to heal everyone for like 14k everyone in the party, and then it's going to give them the buff one called Atonement for 15 seconds. Again, as we talked about in the talents, 35% of all the damage you're going to deal now is going to heal all those people who has Atonement on. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to use your Atonement. It doesn't matter who you click on, because it's going to cast on everyone in 40 yards. So you click on Atonement, and now then you spam 1, because all the damage you deal now is going to heal everyone who has Atonement on. So you can see like the spam healing over here, spam healing here, and spam healing here. Then when Atonement is about to go off, you cast very quickly again Powered Radiance, and you continue spamming 1. So again, that is basically it. Keep pressing 1 all the time. Whenever Atonement is about to go off, you use Powered Radiance, so everyone get their Atonement again. And that's basically it. Again, Powered Radiance, now spamming 1 again. And that's the thing. And your Powered Radiance is almost going to be ready for you all the time. You can see I already have 1 charge now, and it's already getting ready for 2 charges. In case you get into a situation where you really don't have a Powered Radiance ready, then you can use Evangelism, and it's automatically going to use a Powered Radiance as well. And now you can just like keep going DPSing again. And then the next 2 Powered Radiance you're going to be casting is going to be instant cast. You can see I'm already back now at 2 charges. So literally, you're gonna have it up all the time, which is crazy. Also remember, when you use Evangelism, it uses a Powered Radiance that is 150% stronger, but it also summons a pet, which is going to deal damage and give mana, but every time it deals damage, it actually also going to heal everyone who has Atonement on. The same when you use Shadow Word Death, when targets get below 20% health, it also summons a pet, which also all the damage the pet deals is also healing, which is great. But I mean, that's mainly that. It's basically that. You use your Powered Radiance to keep Atonement up 100%, and then you spam 1 for damaging. Whenever you see your shield getting purple like this from the Apex talent, you click it, and it will automatically shield 3 people in the group, which is great. Like, it's really great. And also, because of this talent here, it also gives you, or whoever you cast it on, mainly like the prime target, it's going to give you 4 stacks of Prayer Mending, which is great. I mean, usually that's the only thing like Holy Priestess has, but now you can actually also get it, which is great. So yeah, you use your Powered Radiance, then you make sure that you have your Atonement up all the time, you spam 1, and whenever you see your talent, like your shield down here, get purple, you use it. That's great. You could also just use your shield whenever it's ready, because it technically is going to give you a Prayer of Mending, which is great. So just saying, sorry, my nose is blocking. I'm a little bit sick right now, so yeah. But yeah, purple shield, press it. So that is your first 3 buttons. Then we also have Dominate Mind. Basically, what you can do with that one is if you have like, it has to be not a demonic, not a mechanical or undead, then you can kind of like mind control the enemy, and it will like run around with you for like as a pet for 30 seconds. It's up to you if you want to use it, but it's actually going to give you like a lot of more damage, because you have the pet with you that basically like deals a lot of damage for you. It's nice if you want to like rock a little bit more on the damage meter and so on. Well, yeah, like it's just like a little fun spell that can help out your team to do faster keys in case you want to do. We also have Plea. It's it's an instant cast healing that only deals like 5,000 healing, well 7,000 sometimes. But the thing is, like, it gives you Atonement. Like if someone like needs, like, let's say that you use Powered Radiance, and someone in your party did get Atonement because they were too far away, then you can just click on them and quickly click on Plea, and now they will also have Atonement on them. It's just like the only reason you really use that one is just to like apply Atonement to people. That's like the main thing why you would do it. You can also use Shield on them. That will also apply Atonement on them. And then you of course have your Flash Shield, which is great. Like, it heals like quite a lot in case someone needs like some big healings directly to them. It also heals them. But just keep in mind, you also have this talent here where your Smite sometimes makes a Flash Shield instant cast, which of course is pretty great as well. But yeah. Powered Radiance, spam 1, use shield when it's purple, mind control enemies in case you want. Then we also have Purify. It removes all magic effects. So for example, if like, like if this target here had a lot of magic effects, I could remove them from him. Great spell. Then we have Evangelism, as we just talked about. It uses an additionally Powered Radiance that is stronger, and also makes the next 2 Powered Radiance instant cast. If you really need to like do big AoE healings to everyone, I guess you could also use like Evangelism and then spam twice Powered Radiance. But then of course you're not going to have Powered Radiance now to like keep refreshing Atonement, so it's an on and buff. Then you also have Power Infusion, which gives 20% haste to the target. So if I use it on this target here, it would, well, it doesn't work on these mobs here, but basically it would give 20% haste to that target, but also on ourselves. And I mean, 20% haste is great. Like that, you can really feel that you're going to be able to cast so many more spells in, shorter time. It's great. Very great. Then we also have Pain Suppression. It's basically something you can throw in someone and then they take 50% less damage. It's, yeah, it's fine. And then you also have the big cooldown here, Ultimate Penitence. But when someone, let's say everyone is like low damage, low health, and you really need that button that just like helps the entire group, then you use it, and you will see here that it deals a lot of damage. It deals a lot of actually a lot of damage and healing. Just very importantly, before you use this one here, you have to use, Powered Radiance first, so that all the damage you deal is actually also healing. But yeah. But it does damage and healing. It says here that it can causing 200k holy damage to enemies or healing allies. So, yeah. But yeah, very important. Use Powered Radiance before so everyone get Atonements on. Then you also have Physical Scream, where imagine all these mobs here were casting a spell and we want to interrupt them. Then you can use Physical Scream and they all now stop casting. We have taken the talent so they don't run around. They actually just stand still, which is great. We also have Angelic Feather, which is basically just like a feather that you can drop in the ground, and when someone runs into it, they run faster. Then we have Fade, which removes all snares, and reduce all damage taken by 10%. And also it removes all threat. So if there was a situation where you heal so much or deal so much damage that you got aggro from the tank, then you can use Fade and all the threat you had is going to reset. We also have Master Spell. Basically, it's quite a nice spell. It removes all magic effects, like from all the harmful magic effects from allies, and it removes one beneficial magic effects from your enemies. So it's great. It's great for like removing like stuff from allies and enemies at the same time. We also have Desperate Prayer, which is increasing your HP by 25%, but also heals you for that amount. You can, if you want, you can swap location between, for example, Dominate Mind and that one, in case you want to have like a closer healing buff to yourself. But it's kind of like up to your gameplay style. Then we also have Leaps of Fate, which is the spell that like drags people. So if I wanted to drag that person over to me, I could use Leap of Fate. And we also have Dispel Magic, which you can use on enemies to remove magic effects from them, in case they have like healing all the time on them and shield and so on. And then, of course, your stamina buff, very important, always use it. But that's the entire rotation. Literally, that's the entire thing. It's super simple, super fun, and you're going to have a good time trying it out. But let me try and show you in a dungeon. Let's see how it actually looks in real life. For example, if we do a little big pull here, we're playing follow mode, so the tank is not going to get angry at me. So now we're going to do this. We're going to do big mode here. I'm going to use my Evangelism just to basically heal everyone quickly with a Radiant. Then I'm going to be spamming in single button assistant, and now you're going to see everyone's HP is just going to go up. We got Purple Shield, we got another Holy Word Radiance we can use. Powered Radiance. Everyone has Atonement on. I'm going to spam single button assistant, and you just see how everyone is just getting topped with healing all the time. It looked really hard there first at the start, but because everyone has Atonement on, boom, another Powered Radiance, spamming one again, and everyone is just getting back. Of course, if someone was getting very low, like the tank there, you could also spam like a few, like, flash of heals on them. But still, over like most of the time, it's enough by, having a Powered Radiance, use your Purple Shield when they're ready, and then just spam single button assistant. It's gonna heal enough, it's gonna damage enough, it's gonna be fantastic. Let's try one more time. So we're gonna do another big group here, pulling a lot of different mobs. Got all of them on me. Gonna use my Purple Shield, Holy Word Powered Radiance, and then we're just gonna do damage, healing everyone. Of course, these mobs here doesn't have much HP. You can also like click on each of them and just dot them up, because whenever you click on someone who doesn't have Powered Radiance, it will actually dot them up. So you could also just like dot them up, but remember we have these talents here which automatically dots them up as well. Now we got a boss fight. Let's see how this goes. So we're putting the boss. Gonna use my Powered Radiance to basically everyone getting healing, and now I just press 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, while everyone gets healing very slowly. So you can see. And right now we got the Purple Shield. Let's get it out. Another Powered Radiance, since now the Atonement was going off. We're gonna go back to spam 1. And yeah, that's basically it, because because everyone is just like, normally you would have to like target different people maybe for healing, but since we have this spec here where we just keep like using Atonement, everyone is just getting healed. And I know, of course, this is like a standout thing for like Discipline Priest, that you keep Atonement up on everyone, and then you use, of course, what am I trying to say? You use damage spells. But still, it's fun, it's easy. Oh, I'm taking a lot of damage. I'm going to use my Desperate Prayer. We're going to be using Evangelism. And now I'm going to try use my big cooldown, where it deals a lot of damage and heals everyone. I know the boss kind of died fast there, but it's still fun. Fun one. So yeah. Ooh, items. So yeah, that was my Discipline Priest single button guide. I hope you enjoyed it. It's super fun spec, very easy to play, because you just keep up Atonement on everyone, you spam your single button, and of course, if someone needs more healing, you have cooldowns like Evangelisme, you have your big ultimate penitence, you have your flash shield to cast on people. There is so much you can do. You can either do the easy style where you just keep up, Atonement and spam one, but you can really evolve in this spec here. You can even start to using normal spells if you wanted, but this is a great start for you to play as a Discipline Priest, and then slowly evolve if you want. You could also just keep doing this, what I'm doing here. That's totally up to you. But this would work fine in normal dungeons, heroic dungeons, Mythic 0. Of course, the higher keys you're gonna do, then this is gonna be harder, and you might have to start actually using more spells yourself and stuff like that. But still, it's a great starting board where you can really start from and just have fun. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe if you want to see more guides. I'm trying to post a guide, like a video, every single day. All my builds, all my talents, everything I have is all on my Discord server. So in the description, there's a Discord server. If you go to that server, there's going to be about, right now, 21 specs for different specs in the game. It's like Furry Warrior, Feral Druid, and so on. But yeah, they're all waiting for you over there. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and huge shout out to all my YouTube members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And in case you want to be a YouTube member and get shouted out, your name is going to be in the end of the video, just as a way of me showing appreciation. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.